bachos. Yeah, bachos. Yeah, bachos.
This is Agri-Science Assessment Triplet and welcome to my YouTube channel. Section B, question 2.1. The graph below shows quantities of two agricultural products available in a market over a period of 6 months. As you can see, this is the graph. On the y-axis we have the quantity in tons. On the x-axis we have months of the year. Okay, and we have product 1, we have product 2. Product 1, we can see it with this blue diamond. Okay, so it starts here, then there is fluctuation. Okay, there is quantity fluctuations with product 1, right? Starts here, then goes down, then goes up again, then goes down and up again, right? There is fluctuations. Then with product 2, you can notice it by this square shape, okay? And this is a brown, and this color is brown, right? So as you can see, the line tries to be straight, but it bends a little bit outwards, all right? Then goes to the line again. So as we can see, it stays between 50 and 60 quantities in tons, right? That is product 2. The quantity of product 1 that was available in month 3, right? So they want the quantity of what? Product 1. Okay, so this is product 1. We can see it with the blue diamond shape. Okay, right. Month 3, available in month 3. Month 1, 2, 3. Month 3. Okay, so that's 30 tons. Right, that's 30 tons. 2.1.2, identify the product that shows constant availability over a 6-month period, which means we will look and when we look at this graph, we'll try to identify the product that doesn't have the fluctuations. Okay, so let's see. This one has the fluctuations. Product 1 has the fluctuations, but product 2 is it's not that constant, but it tries to be constant. As you can see, the line tries to be straight, but it bends a little bit, but it tries to be constant. So between product 2 and product 1, product 2 is better. It's the one that looks constant. It's the one that it is constant because there's not much variation. This is 50, and I think here it can be 51 or 52, then 52 or 51, then there's 50 again. Unlike this one where it goes like 60 tons, then 40 tons, 30 tons, then 50 tons. This one is not consistent. But product 2 is consistent, stays between the 50s, you know. So this one is consistent. So that means that's product 2. 2.1.3, state the problem that may occur in the market with product 2 if the demand is 20 tons. Okay, as you can see, the heading says the graph below shows the quantities of two agricultural products available in a market over a period of 6 months, which means that this is a supply. This is the supply of products in the market, right? So Here they're telling us, sorry, we have what? We have a demand, the quantity demanded, which is 20 tons. Okay, the quantity demanded, that's 20 tons, and we are looking at product 2. So apparently the quantity demanded will be somewhere here, right? Will be somewhere here, which is 20 tons. 20 tons is here, and we can see where the product 2 stays up here in the 50s. Okay, so 50 minus 20, okay, because the quantity supplied is 50 tons. It's somewhere there, 50s, right? That's 50 tons. And the quantity demanded, that's 20 tons, right? So we're going to say 50 minus 20, okay, which means we take the quantity supplied, we minus the quantity demanded. 50 minus 20 tons, then we get 30 tons. Okay, so that 30 is a surplus because it resulted in excess products, right? It resulted in some product that were left, meaning we didn't sell all of the product. Okay, so 30 tons is a surplus. So there will be a surplus, which means it will result in spoilage, okay, or it can result in storage costs, right? And the only way that we can correct that surplus is by lowering the price of the product. The only way to correct that surplus is by lowering the price of the product so that those products can be attractive because of the cheaper price. So let's answer the question. So the problem here is that there will be a surplus. That is the problem. 2.1.4, name the factor that may hamper the marketing of product 1. Factors hampering marketing of product 1, it can be what? It can be perishability, alright? Okay, so let me try to explain this. Agree, as you can see, there was something that was hampering the availability of product 1. Okay, there were some times where the product the quantity in tons for product 1 was 60, then jiggy it was 40 tons, jiggy it was 30 tons, then jiggy it was 50 tons. So that means that there was something that was hampering the marketing of product 1. So we are looking for those factors, looking for what was hampering the marketing of product 1. So that's perishability, all right? Seasonal fluctuations, all right? Poor road infrastructure or lack of infrastructure, okay? Any one of those. So we take perishability. 2.1.5, 2.1.5, name 2 factors that can influence the demand of product 1 and product 2. Two factors influencing the demand, because product 1 and product 2, they deal with demand, right? So here we're looking at 2 factors influencing the demand, right? So what can influence the demand? Okay, change in consumer preference, change in consumer preference, or you can say tastes and preferences of consumers. Ta- tastes, taste and preferences of consumers. Point two, increase in disposable income. And an increase in disposable income, which talks about the increase in the money that is available to buy goods. Okay, increase in the money that is available to buy goods, or yeah, because here we're talking about the consumers. So if the income of the consumers increase, then they will be able to buy more of the goods, which means that the demand can increase. So if the disposable income decreases, then also it will affect them because the disposable income will decrease, which means there is a decrease in the money available to buy goods. Thus, the demand will be low. So that is the change in consumer income, or the change in the buying power. All right. Right. What what is the other things that can affect, or the other factors that can influence the demand? The festive season. The festive season, right? For example, let's say maybe month one was December, all right? December, we know during December we want to buy meat, okay, because of the price and all those things. We want to buy vegetables so that we can be able to cook for our families, right? We want to buy groceries, we want to buy sweet things during the festive season, right? Then comes January and February. Let's say month two, let's say month two and month three, that's January and February. January and February, that's where people don't have money, and that is back to school. That's where then the learners need to go back to school, right? Because the festive season is over. So the money is spent on buying stationery, books, pens, charts, textbooks, right? Stationery, or paying for school transport or school fees. That's January and February. But during the festive season, during December, the demand for meat was high. But during January and February, that demand dropped, as you can see, to show, okay, the festive season is over, right? That is the festive season. Or we can talk about fashion. Fashion, that's when there is new clothing brand, okay? Maybe there is new shoes called uh, uh, shining shoes, right? So because those shoes are now popular, right? You will see the demand being high at first, right? In month one, maybe um, they are trending on TikTok, or they are trending on other social media platforms. So people tend to buy those products, right? Because of the influence of those social media influencers, okay? So they see those shoes, okay, shiny shoes, I want shiny shoes. At first, there will be a high demand for those shoes, okay? But as time goes by, the demand will decrease because people will find something else to buy. Maybe um, after 2 months or after 1 month, maybe um, another brand will release um, the shoes that are better than the shiny shoes. So people will stop to buy shiny shoes because there is another brand that is selling um, new shoes that have better quality, okay, or better features than the shiny shoes. Then you will see the shiny shoes having a decline in demand. That's fashion, okay? Yeah. Then we have legislation, we have price expectations, see, we have the number of consumers, see, okay?
They copied your product? So what? Let them copy the logo, let them mimic your colors, let them repackage your offer like they invented them. Because what they can't copy is you. They can't steal the 2 a.m. idea you woke up to write down. They can't fake the energy you pour into every client call. They don't have your taste, your timing, your guts, and they'll never touch your vision. You see, products can be copied, but presence can't. You're not just selling something, you are the brand. You're the reason it works. You're the touch behind the details that no one notices until they feel the difference. Let them replicate. You'll keep innovating. Let them watch. You'll keep moving. They might match your features, but they'll never match your fire. You're not in this to imitate. You're in this to dominate.
Below illustrates the marketing system and the channels used when marketing products. So as we can see on this chart, we have a marketing system, and we know that marketing systems are three. We have free marketing system, we have cooperative marketing system, and we have controlled marketing system. Okay, so that means we are expecting, or okay, we'll be dealing with one of those here. As you can see, this marketing system, it is divided into branches. Okay, then we have letter A, B, C. Letter A, products are sold to hawkers from the farm. Letter B, farmers market through an agent. Letter C, livestock is sold to the highest bidder. Right. By looking at letter C, we can see what, okay, livestock is sold to the highest bidder. Okay, this matches with the stock sales. Okay, because the stock sales, that's the free marketing channel for the sale of livestock by auction in local venue with larger customers, where um, the livestock is sold to the highest bidder. Okay, so the customers makes the bidding price, okay, or they make the bidding offers, so they can say, okay, I'm taking it with 50,000, and the other one can say I'm taking it with 70,000. So the the customer with the highest bet, okay, or with the highest offer will be the one who will buy the livestock. Yeah, that's what they mean by the livestock being sold to the highest bidder. So C, that's one of the channels of free marketing. B, farmers market through an agent, and I think this one matches um, with the one for the fresh produce market, because fresh produce market, that's a free marketing channel where municipal authorities provide large facilities for the sale of fresh produce, okay, such as fruits, vegetables, eggs, milk, and meat. So that's um, that's the free marketing channel where municipal authorities provide large facilities for the sale of fresh produce by farmers, okay, or through agents. All right. So, and letter B says that farmers market through an agent. Okay, that means sorry, it matches with fresh produce market. A, products are sold to hawkers from the farm. From the farm. From the farm. Okay, that means so this one can match with farm gate marketing, because farm gate marketing, that's a free marketing channel where where the farmer sells produce at the point of production, at the farm. Okay, at the farm. And yeah, that's the farm gate, right? And as we can see, we have farm gate here, then here we have fresh produce market, here we have stock sales. These are the channels, these are the marketing channels for the free marketing system. That means the marketing system here is the free marketing system, because the free marketing system is the one that has these channels, these three channels. 2.2.1, identify the marketing system illustrated above. That's the free marketing system. 2.2.2, identify channels A and B that are used in the marketing system in question 2.2.1. A, that is farm gate marketing. B, that is fresh produce marketing. State one advantage of channel A for each of the following. A for the farmer, B for the consumer. Right. So here they want one advantage of the farm gate marketing channel. Right? So for the farmer, there is no marketing chain cost, or there is no transportation costs, right? Then B, for the consumer, the consumers get the produce while it is still fresh, right? The products will be fresh when the producer buys those produce, right? Or those vegetables. So the consumer will get the produce while still fresh and at a less price, at a cheaper price. Right. 2.2.4, name one disadvantage of channel C to sellers. One disadvantage of stock sale to the sellers. Right, so the prices may be lower than the market price. The seller may not get the expected price. Okay, so yeah, the seller might get less price than expected if the consumers or the bidders are not willing to pay higher price. So this can happen if the highest bidder has the price that is below the expectations of the seller. Okay, this can happen if the highest bidder has the price that is below the expectations of the seller. Right, meaning the seller might be expecting or he or she will get maybe 100,000 rand, all right? 100,000 rand for the bull. Let's say maybe that was his or her best breed of a bull, right? And on the auction, okay, so the result of the auction, then it turns out, or the bull was actually sold at maybe 70,000 instead of 100,000. So the farmer was expecting 100,000 or more, but the bull ended up being sold for 70,000, which was not the expected price for the farmer. Okay, this is what they're trying to say. Because this depends on the disposable income of the bidders, or the the con- or the customers, or the buyers that will be making those price offers, right? It depends on how much they have, or how much they are willing to offer, or how much, yeah, how much they are willing to offer in order to buy that bull, or that livestock that is being displayed. Yeah, so you can choose any one of those. Price may be lower than the market price, or the seller may not get the expected price. So 2.3, a group of youth near a livestock farm decided to collect manure from the farm to generate biofuel that is used as a source of energy. They drafted a business plan, which was used to secure funding from a bank, and bought a biogas digester. An old building was used as a factory, and skilled personnel was hired to run the business. The business flourished, and they started to service the community. 2.3.1, identify three phases of entrepreneurship in the scenario above. Okay, identifying the business opportunity. That's point number one. Developing a business plan. That's point number two. Mobilize resources that will be needed. That's point number three. Mobilizing the resources that will be needed, or resource mobilization. Right. Or you can say starting and managing the enterprise. That will, yeah. But here they wanted three, so we can take the first three, which is identifying the opportunity, developing a business plan, resource mobilization. 2.3.2, give two other reasons for drafting a business plan except for the one in the scenario above. Okay. So two other reasons for drafting a business plan: to test the feasibility or the economic viability of the business idea, right? To guide daily operations of the business. We want to know which resources and what operations will be involved in the daily operations of the business. Okay, to know which resources and what operations will be involved in the daily operations of the business. That is to guide the daily operations of the business, right? Others, we can say what? Okay, we can choose from here. Allows to foresee problems which reduces risk. Allows to foresee problems that may occur in the future which reduces risk. Okay. Two point three indicate a success factor of this group which enabled them to do each of the following. A. For other people to believe in their idea and work with them. B. Investing in new equipment with the hope of succeeding in the business. Right, so they want what? They want the indication of success factors, right? For other people to believe in their idea and work with them. That is the interpersonal skills or the leadership skills. As you can see, this person is able to convince other people that their idea will work. Okay, so they're able to convince other people that the idea that they have will work. Okay, and they are able to work with those people. Okay, meaning they are able to influence and they are able to work with those people. Okay, that is leadership or interpersonal skills. Right. It can be leadership because this person has an idea and he shows those people and he convinces them or that idea will work, and he or she shows them the direction of on how this idea will go by, and they try to follow his or her idea. Okay, and he makes those people to work with him or her. Okay, and it can be the interpersonal skills because working with people, right? That's it needs the interpersonal skills. You need those skills to be able to work with people well, so that you can make an excellent team and be productive. Convincing people, okay, that requires you to be able to communicate, to interact with people so that they can believe in your idea. That's the interpersonal skills. Okay, right. And also it can need confidence, right? That means it can also be confident, right? So that means the indication of success factors for aid can be leadership, interpersonal skills, confidence, yeah, any one of those. Letter B, investing in new equipment with the hope of succeeding in the business. Okay, that one is what? Risk taker. That means you are a risk taker. If you can invest in a new equipment with the hope of succeeding, that means you take risk. You are a risk taker, which is risk taking. You have positive thinking. That means you expect to you expect positive things to happen in the long run. Okay, so that means that there's something that you think will change, right, in the future. Something positive might occur in the future. So you have high hope or this thing can happen, right? So that is positive thinking, risk taking. Okay, positive thinking or risk taking. 2.4, the table below shows bags of potatoes offered in a market over a period of 5 weeks. Right, as you can see on the table, we have week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have the price in rands: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, quantities offered in bags. We have 500, 1000, 1500, 2000, 2500. Right, so 2.4.1, draw a line graph showing the quantities of potatoes offered at different prices. Meaning we expect to see the supply curve, because here we're dealing with the quantities of potatoes offered, quantities of potatoes supplied at the market at different prices. Supplied, offered, supplied. So if they don't want to say supplied, they can say offered, okay, or available in the market, right, at different prices. That's the language of business, the language of business, the marketing language. Okay, so the one-day line graph, that means we're expecting to see a supply curve. And supply curve, as you know, it should start from the left going to the right. So it goes upward. Okay, it goes upward. That means we expect it to go like this. It should go upward, right? It should go upward. But with the demand curve, we expect it to start from the left going to the right, but it goes downward. That will be for the demand curve. But here we are not dealing with the demand curve, we are dealing with the supply curve that goes from the left to the right, it goes upward, right? So let me see. Right, so here you should have a heading, which is a line graph showing the quantities of potatoes offered at different prices in a market over a period of 5 weeks. A line graph showing the quantities of potatoes offered at different prices in a market over a period of 5 weeks. That will be the heading. Right? Then on the y-axis, you should have a label. Okay, you should say this is the price because this is the prices, right? 0, 10 rand, 20 rand, 30, 40 rand, 50 rand, 60 rand, right? And we should indicate that this price is in rands, right? Should indicate the currency and also the scale of this rands should be accurate, because as you can see, we move from 0 to 10, then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We don't say 0, 10, 40, 100, 120. No, we use the multiple. Okay, so here we said 10, 20, 30. It stays consistent, right? Then on the x-axis we have the label. Also we have the quantities in bags. The quantities of potatoes offered in bags. The quantities of potatoes offered in bags, as you can see, that's 0, 500, okay, 1000, 1500, 2000, 2500, right? and we have the correct curve, the correct line graph, the correct curve. This is the supply curve. As you can see, we didn't do something else. This is the supply curve, right? Then the correct plotting, we did plot correctly. As you can see, with 500 we have 10 rand, right? With 1000 bags we have 20 rand. With 1500 bags, quantities of bags supplied, we have 30 rand. Then with 2000 quantities of bags we have 40. Then with 2500 we have 50 rand. 2.4.2 describes the marketing law applicable to the data provided in the table above. Okay, so we want the marketing law, and we know the marketing laws that we have. We have the law of demand and the law of supply, right? But here we are dealing with the supply, because we have a line graph showing the quantities of potatoes offered or supplied in a market at different prices. Because here we're dealing with the supply, that means we're going to use the law of supply. And the law of supply states that the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. The higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. Okay? Or the lower the price, the lower the quantity supplied. Okay? So that is, the higher the price, we always start with the price. The higher the price, the higher the supply. The lower the price, the lower the supply. 2.4.3. Name two factors other than the price that could have contributed to the quantities of potatoes offered. Okay. Other than the price. So, what can be that? The availability of technology, right, which is the new production technology that is sufficient, maybe. Okay, so it can be one of the factors that can contribute to the supply, right, which is the availability of technology. Okay. Point 2, political instability, right? Political instability. Point 3, government subsidies or taxation, right?
Your dad built a house at 30. You're renting at 30. Same effort, new economy. Your mom raised 3 kids without a degree. You have a degree and 3 side hustles just to survive. They bought groceries for a week with 1 day's pay. You work 2 jobs to fill half the cart. This isn't about who's working harder. It's about how much the game has changed. Stop comparing your progress to theirs. They played in the rookie mode. You're an expert. With inflation, digital pressure, and a world that never sleeps, you didn't fall behind. The starting line moved, the rules shifted, and you're still in the game. So stop the guilt, stop the shame. You're not too late. You're building under pressure they never had to face. Keep going. You're not broken. You're just building in a different world.
Representation below shows the marketing chain stages that the product passes through from the farm to the consumers. We have farm, then from the farm we have grading, then processing, then storage, then transport, wholesaler, retailer, then the consumer. Right. 2.5.1 indicate two costs in the schematic representation above that could increase the price of a product when it reaches the consumer. Right. Two costs. Okay. So we have transportation costs. The transportation costs will come from those trucks or buggies that will be transporting our produce from one place to another. They require money for that because they use petrol, or maybe it will be the trucks from the logistics company. Okay, then we'll be paying them for the service that they provide to us. Okay, meaning we will be outsourcing maybe the trucks from other companies, right? So that will include the transportation cost. Right. Then we have the storage costs, because we are going to harvest. We are going to harvest, but not all of the products will just move the same day. Not all the products or the produce will just move the same day and be transported to the market. Some of the products will remain in the storage facilities, okay, for a few days, all right, until we sort the marketing arrangements, so that we can see how we are going to distribute the products. We don't just harvest, then we package the products into the trucks, then we distribute them. So, no, some of the products or some of the produce will be stored. Some of them will be transported, right? And we do this to prevent oversupply, because if we just transport everything, some of the produce will not be bought, okay, and this will result in oversupply, which can result in spoilage of the produce, right, which can lead to waste. Okay, so we have transportation cost, we have storage cost, and lastly we have the processing costs. The processing costs, that's when, let's say, we run these farming businesses. Okay, so these farming businesses deals with livestock, the rearing of animals, and we have this cattle. Okay, so we get milk from this cattle, the dairy farm. Yeah, let's say we run the dairy farm, and we get the milk, okay, and we get the milk from those cows, okay, the dairy cows. Then we process that milk so that we can get cheese and other dairy products, so that we can make cheese and other dairy products. All right, so cheese will then be expensive. Okay, the price of cheese and the price of milk will not be the same, because the cheese has the value added. Okay, the cheese is value added. The cheese has undergone the value adding process, or the transformation process, okay, which is the value adding process, right? So that milk can result in that final cheese. Okay, so minori, in that price of cheese, there is the processing costs that have been incurred, right? Hence I say the processing costs, right? So that means we have the transportation costs, storage costs, or the processing costs. So here they want two, so we can take any of those. Point 2, identify the stage in the marketing chain above in which the following occurs to improve the agri-business. We have letter A and letter B. Letter A, installing cold rooms to prevent spoilage before transporting to the wholesaler. Right, so we are installing what? The cold rooms. Okay, that means that's the facilities that can be able to regulate the temperature, and those rooms, they make sure the temperature in those facilities remain cool or remain cold, right? So the temperature in those facilities remain cold so that we can prevent spoilage of the produce that is stored in those facilities. Okay, right, and we do that so that we can prevent spoilage, so that the produce can stay fresh, okay, and remain of a good quality and remain. So installing cold rooms to prevent spoilage before transporting to the wholesaler, that is the storage facility. Letter B, improving road infrastructure for the produce to reach the processing stage. For example, let's say we were milking those cows, okay, then now we want to transport the milk from where we're doing the milking, okay, so from the milking facilities to where we will process that milk, right? So that means we'll have to move those produce to the processing facility so that we can be able to process that milk and convert that milk into cheese through the transformation process, which is the value adding process, right? And that occurs where? At the farm, the stage at which the agribusiness chain can be improved, that is at the farm. That's where we will improve the road infrastructure for the produce to reach the processing stage. That means we'll have to improve the road infrastructure from the point of production to where the processing will take place, right? Which in this case is the milking parlor, right, to the place where we will process that milk, right? 2.5.3 state 2 ways in which the retailer can make the product known to the consumer. Okay, so here they want the ways in which we can communicate our product offerings to the consumer. How can we communicate our product offerings with the consumer, right? So that's where we'll promote our product. Okay, so we promote our product in different ways. So we can do what is called paid advertising. Okay, that's where we'll advertise using the radios, the television, the billboard, the newspaper. Yeah, so those things are the paid advertising, because we pay those people that run television programs so that they can run our ads. We pay the radios so that they can run our ads. Okay, on the newspapers, on the internet, the ads that we see, they are paid. So that is paid advertising. We can also communicate our product offerings through in-store promotion. Okay, through in-store promotion, that's where maybe if you can go to ShopRite, okay, for example, if there is a new product, maybe you'll find two or more staff trying to introduce that product to the consumers or to the customers. So they will say to you, okay, can you try this product and tell us what you think about the product? Then maybe they can let you to taste the product, or they can give you those products for free, right? You can taste those products for free because they are trying to introduce those products to you so that you can know them and know that they exist, right? Yes, and that is in-store promotion. They are introducing the product so that you can know that product exists. Or they can try to boost sales. We can say, okay, if you buy two, you get one for free, or something like that. Yeah. But most of the time, they tend to give people free stuff so that you can try them and see whether you like them or not. Then if you like them, then you will start to buy them because now you have experience with that product, and you think that if you think that product was able to if that product was able to make you happy, that means you have achieved customer satisfaction. That means the product has maximized your customer satisfaction, right? Okay, so I was talking about the paid advertising and the in-store promotion. Then we can have word of mouth. Okay, word of mouth, that's when the customers or the staff can go and tell people about the product, their friends, their families, some of the people in the communities that they live in. Yeah, that's the word of mouth, right? So here they want two ways of making the product known to the consumer. So we have paid advertising, we have in-store promotion, or word of mouth, right? We have direct mailing, we have marketing agent, right? We have exhibitions, right? We have sponsorship. So you can choose from these options, any of these two.
La buku, ezo ndishende la buku, nichimbela buku, nismaila buku, yedera buku, nifuwa buku, nichimbela buku, yedera buku, nichola buku.